What is going on, YouTube? What is going on, Kansas City? And what is going on, everybody? And welcome to the Beat of KC. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can't tell, I have an absolute amazing guest, one of my good friends, Michael Darcy from the KC Sports Report. Michael, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic, Lucas. I'm excited to talk about the topic because it's been very juicy over the internet.
For sure. And the reason I'm actually bringing this to you all is because it was a hot topic on a local sports radio, 810 WHB. The topic we're going to be discussing is Patrick Mahomes versus Josh Allen, but we're kind of putting a little caveat on there. It's going to be if they were to switch teams, what can we expect? What would we expect in that tenure? So, Michael, before we really dive in, I'm going to provide you some stats. I'm not going to go super in detail, but Patrick Mahomes has played in 112 games so far in his career, and Josh Allen has played in 111. So pretty close, even when it comes to games played. Now, we've had MVPs for Mahomes. We've had MVPs in the postseason. Josh Allen, on the other hand, I mean, we kind of know where we're sitting with that. As far as passing yards, Mahomes has 32,352. Josh Allen has 26,434. And the final stat I'm going to do is passing touchdowns. So 245 to Mahomes, 195 to Josh Allen. So my question to you, first off, is if they were to switch teams, can you kind of just elaborate on what you think Mahomes would do for the Buffalo Bills?
I think Patrick Mahomes would have more success in Buffalo than Josh Allen would have in Kansas City. And I think part of the reason that I can say that is because at the end of the day, you always need your quarterback to make that play in big moments. Coaching plays a huge role in that. I'm not trying to deny it. Patrick Mahomes definitely has a better coach in Kansas City than Doug McDermott. Is it Sean McDermott? Did I just reference the Creighton basketball player? I think Sean McDermott. Sean McDermott. I always do that. But I think that if Josh Allen was in Kansas City, he would still have to make the play when called upon. And Josh Allen's great. I'm not trying to say that he isn't. But he's always come up just one play short. We forget. Well, I don't really forget. But people forget that Josh Allen had the ball with 2 minutes left in the AFC Championship game, and he couldn't get the job done. And there's nothing about coaching that impacts that right there. And I definitely think that, you know, if Mahomes went to Buffalo, that he wouldn't have the 3 championships that he currently has. I think he would get one. I think his talent is that good, and he just elevates so many of the receivers around him. Buffalo also, at least as of recent years, hasn't really had the defense that the Chiefs have had. And so, you know, I think that Josh Allen maybe could get a championship if he was on the Chiefs, but I do think that Patrick Mahomes would be better and just equal even if he did go to Buffalo.
For sure. And I immediately started thinking, and this was, brought up too, how much of, and you kind of hit on it a little bit with the head coaching, but how much of Patrick Mahomes is Andy Reid? And really you guys kind of think about that. So we know what Patrick Mahomes is as the player. We see what he's able to do with the sidearm throws, the running around and really making things happen, and that connection that he has with Travis Kelce, the ability to just kind of be like, hey, go here, and the ball goes there, and it's kind of off script. But my question is I guess with a coach like Andy Reid getting his hands on a Josh Allen, does that change maybe how Josh Allen's performed, and would his numbers be more reflective to what Mahomes currently are? What do you think?
I think his numbers would the thing is, though, is in Buffalo, he's kind of, I don't want to say stat padding, but he's had to put up a lot more yards and touchdowns because his defense hasn't really been all that good. It wasn't good last year. It wasn't really good the year before when the Chiefs went into Buffalo and beat him in his house. I feel like Josh Allen would have success in Kansas City, but I don't know if that success translates to championships. And I think that Mahomes, if he's in Buffalo, I mean, you got to think back when they had Stephon Diggs, and I think that they would have at least gotten one. I think that Mahomes is good enough to elevate the talent around him, and also good enough to maybe deal with some lackluster coaching.
For sure. And that's kind of where I stand. I do believe that if Mahomes went to Buffalo, I feel like there's a chance he probably could have had more championships. Not saying he's not going to get more with Kansas City. I'm just saying I feel like he would have more opportunity to get more with Buffalo than a Josh Allen coming over to Kansas City. But then I started thinking too, in the span of Mahomes' tenure with the Kansas City Chiefs, the type of receivers he's had versus what Josh Allen's had. So let's just use last year as an example. So you had DeAndre Hopkins, Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, and then you add tight end Travis Kelce. Plus, we'll say you got to kind of factor in what Pacheco can provide, not only in the run game, but out of the backfield. And then you had obviously your other contributing factors, a better offensive, his offensive line at times has been better, but I think the offensive line in Buffalo has been a little bit better. So do you think Josh Allen would have a little bit more success stat-wise in Kansas City based on the weapons that he would acquire by coming to Kansas City?
I think he would have had maybe more success with a prime Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. Like that's just, I mean, that level of offensive talent, it's really hard to beat that. Do I think that Josh Allen could elevate MVS and Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore in a Super Bowl? No, I don't. And that's not saying that he couldn't get the most out of them, but I'm not sure if it would be to the level of Patrick Mahomes. I just don't know that. And so, because that's the thing, like, you got to think about the high leverage positions that those offensive players were in. And Josh Allen had arguably better weapons last year, and he couldn't get it done in those high leverage moments. And you saw Mahomes at the highest level connect with Sky Moore for a Super Bowl touchdown. That guy's not going to make this roster this year. He's been a bum. MBS caught a touchdown in the Super Bowl. Like, we've seen guys. Kadarius Toney's doing rap. He's rapping right now. We're in jail. I don't know where he is. But listen, Mahomes has done more with less, and Josh Allen has never suffered like that. He just hasn't.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, too, like, I started thinking, because now what I really want to talk about is, like, that clutch gene, and I think this is an easy answer. But I think the fact that Mahomes has that clutch gene, like, he has that switch that he can click at any time, turn it on, and it's there. And do you believe that clutch gene would have provided maybe over that hump that they need there in Buffalo at times where, maybe it's lacking a little bit, where Allen maybe turns the ball over or just can't get it done? We've seen it time and time again in the postseason where they come here, we go there. They just can't get it done. And so do you think that clutch gene truly plays a factor into this whole situation?
I think it partially does. When you asked that question, the first thing that kind of came in my mind was the 13 seconds game. Like, Josh Allen had the clutch gene. He went down there, gave the Bills the lead, and then their defense just completely forgot how to play football. But that's not on him. That's an example of, like, you played your heart out, you balled out. It just wasn't good enough. And last year, I think he did miss some moments, but he also made a lot of plays in that AFC Championship game, and his defense sucked. Now, I think that, again, when you look at it, he had the ball with 2 minutes left in that AFC Championship game, and he didn't do anything. But if we just look at, the only time that really comes to my mind that Patrick Mahomes failed in the clutch was that AFC Championship game against the Bengals. That was the only time in his career that I think he kind of just completely wet the bed. And that's something that, that happens to everybody. It's just how much does it happen to a quarterback? I think Josh Allen, while being great, has made a few more mistakes down the stretch than Patrick Mahomes has.
For sure. I could not agree more with that. So my final question to you, Michael, is, and I'm excited to ask you this just because I am a diehard Chiefs fan just as much as you are, and like most people that are going to be watching this video. But I'm also a huge football fan. So my question to you is let's say Patrick Mahomes did not exist and you had the ability to pluck any of the current quarterbacks that are on any roster. Which quarterback are you adding to this current Kansas City Chiefs roster?
I'd take Josh Allen. And maybe that's a crazy take. I think that if you look at all the other great quarterbacks, like the, Josh Allens and Lamar Jacksons and Joe Burrows, Joe Burrow would be my second, by the way. I think Lamar would be third because Lamar has fallen short in the playoffs every single year, and he has been the reason a couple times where they have not won. But when you just look at, Josh Allen and physically, he's like 40 pounds, runs faster than linebackers, can hurdle a linebacker, and he's got a cannon for an arm. Like, if Patrick Mahomes doesn't exist, I want Josh Allen, because if Josh Allen, I'm very confident when I say that there will be a year where Patrick Mahomes doesn't get out of the AFC and Josh Allen will be that guy. I don't think the Bengals, I don't know what the Bengals are doing in Cincinnati. They're not playing football, dysfunctional as ever. I think Lamar Jackson always has the team around him. There is no one that has done, no one outside of Patrick Mahomes that has done more with less than Josh Allen. Josh Allen won MVP throwing the football to Khalil Shakir, goodness gracious. Khalil Shakir, and then Keon Coleman didn't do anything his rookie season, and, he's absolutely balling. So I would take Josh Allen, if Patrick Mahomes doesn't exist, but luckily Patrick Mahomes does exist.
For sure. So with that being said, you're adding him to this roster. Mahomes doesn't exist. Would the would the Josh Allen Kansas City Chiefs win the Super Bowl this year?
Yeah. I think if you add in the fact that the Chiefs lost it last year, I think they would. I think if you put Josh Allen on this team and you gave him Andy Reid, I think it'd be scary.
For sure. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I was hyped to bring this video to you all. Let me know in the comment section what you all think. Let me know if you think that Josh Allen would have better success on the Kansas City Chiefs, or if Patrick Mahomes would have better success with the Buffalo Bills. How many Super Bowls, how many MVPs? Let me know it all down in the comment section. And of course, before we wrap this thing completely up, Michael, I know everybody knows where to find you, but where can they find you?
You guys can find me on YouTube at KC Sports Report. And then I think I got a special announcement coming in the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that.
Oh, maybe we can break it on this channel.
Well, you know what? I'll say this. That very same radio station that we mentioned earlier on in the video, I might be taking a certain producer job. So.
Oh, there we go. He actually might have potentially just broke it on the channel. Let's go. That's awesome to hear. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you all checking out this video and how I wrap up every video. Make sure you all have a good day.